Good morning, everybody. It's Bank Holiday Monday, so I hope you have managed to have a little bit of extra shut-eye today. We are still here at, well, it is actually 7:32, so I am 2 minutes late. This morning, I am going to share some very brief thoughts on the verses at the end of Mark chapter 4, verses 35 to 41. It's a pretty classic Sunday school story. It's a shoe-in for an illustration of a very powerful looking Jesus with his hair blowing in the wind in a kid's Bible. If you ever had one of those growing up, sometimes with these more classic stories, I often think of pictures or I saw in books in school, and this is definitely one of those. So it is entitled Jesus Calms a Storm, and it says this: As evening came, Jesus said to his disciples, "Let's cross to the other side of the lake." So they took Jesus in the boat and started out, leaving the crowds behind, although other boats followed. But soon a fierce storm came. High winds were breaking into the boat and it began to fill with water. Jesus was sleeping at the back of the boat with his head on a cushion. The disciples woke him, shouting, "Teacher, don't you care that we're going to drown?" When Jesus woke up, he rebuked the wind and said to the waves, "Silence, be still." Suddenly, the wind stopped and there was a great calm. Then he asked them, "Why are you afraid? Do you still have no faith?" The disciples were absolutely terrified. "Who is this man?" they asked each other. "Even the wind and the waves obey him." A few quick background things then on that is this. So it says that it was evening, so it was likely getting dark. Jesus has suggested they go to the other side of the lake, which is the land of the Gentiles. You probably heard this word more than once, which is basically people who weren't Jewish. They were people who had been very different, completely different culture. So they would have almost certainly been a little bit nervous about that. There were other boats following them. So this is not just one boat with Jesus in on the lake. And there are other boats who were followed who are also facing this storm. There would have been more than one experienced fisherman in this boat, so they would have been used to choppy water. So the storm must have been really, really raging for them to get this scared. And obviously it does say, doesn't it, that the boat is filling with water. So I don't know about you, but at this point I would probably be thinking, this is it, we're going to sink. And Jesus, while all this is going on, what's he doing? He's sleeping. And I love here that it specifically says that he's sleeping with his head on a cushion, as if he's sort of really bedded down for the night. This is not an upright doze or a power nap. This sounds to be quite the intentional kip. So Jesus wakes up, says immediately to the storm, to what is frightening them, "Silence, be still," and it is over. It's a scene I've kind of tried to imagine in my mind quite a lot of times over the years, and if I'm honest, I can only sort of conjure up a very naff sort of CGI version. It must have been absolutely insane to witness, and imagine like the view of the people in these other boats looking at Jesus doing this. It would have just been something else. And the disciples' reaction to this, they're absolutely terrified. They're now no longer terrified of the storm, but they are terrified of Jesus because of how incredibly powerful he is. Let's bear in mind the fact that up until this point, they have seen Jesus heal countless people. They've seen him do miraculous things. And, you know, they're scared of him because he is that powerful. He is God. And he asks them, doesn't he, "Do you still have no faith?" I thought of, like, you know, I don't know about you, but my kids are a bit sheepish sometimes with the water, and they can jump off the side of the pool after much coaxing, you know, and I'm kind of standing in the water going, "I will catch you, come on, we've done this before, I will catch you," and every time they're still tentative, you know. So these people have seen Jesus, they know what he can do, but they still don't quite believe in his power. And you know what? I think Jesus knew exactly what was going to happen here. And so many times in the Bible, it says that in our weakness, he is strong, that God gives us rest for our souls, like that when we are burdened, we don't have to carry them alone, but we can throw all of our burdens on Jesus, that we have the offer of not just peace, but perfect peace. I haven't quite found that in my own life yet, but that it must be real, otherwise the Bible wouldn't talk about it. So Jesus knows, he knows how hard it is for us. Yet over and over again, we are offered peace, we are offered comfort, we are offered the chance to throw all of our worries and our cares onto Jesus and not carry them alone. And it made me think, and I'm just going to end with this. I don't know if you've noticed this, but I feel like our culture is very into promoting our self-reliance, being independent, powerful even, being confident in who we are, in what we are, in where we've been, what we're doing, where we're going. I have heard and seen the phrase, "You've got this," so many times as a means of encouragement, of spurring people on. And I'll be honest with you, I actually find that phrase quite overwhelming. I feel like, oh my gosh, this is all on me, this is all on me. And I do not have this. I find the 6-week holidays with my kids at home overwhelming. I do not have it. I cannot be completely self-reliant. And I don't think we were made to be. We were made to be at peace with our Maker, with God, with Jesus. We were meant to love him and accept all that he can give us. And also it says in the Bible that the second most important thing to loving God is loving each other. So we're actually meant to help each other through this life. We're not meant to do anything on our own, both spiritually and physically, which is amazing because I need that. I need that in my life. It is so, so important. So the Bible talks about having faith as small as a mustard seed. And that is what the disciples have here. Maybe that's what you have today. Maybe your faith is even smaller than that or completely non-existent. And I just want to encourage you today, come with what you have. Jesus will still wake up for you. You can wake him up in the storm of your life and he will respond. Jesus is the rock in my life. He is gentle and he is patient and he is kind and he is full of compassion. When there is a raging storm in my personal life, at home, in the world, I cannot look within myself and muster up the wisdom and the courage to get through it. I don't have it. He does. He does have it. And I can look to him and I can know that he has the power to heal broken bodies and broken hearts and to command to the storm, silence, be still. Have a great Monday.